Okay, Year 10, welcome to the video that will hopefully help you understand these chemical equations a bit more easily and show you how to balance some of these equations that you need to know for your test that's next Friday. So let's start with ionic compounds. Let's go right back to the beginning. And to understand ionic compounds, we need to understand our periodic table. Now this one I've just labelled quickly, just with the things we need to know to balance ionic compounds. So we have our first column here with a valency of +1, meaning that it has an electron in its outer shell that it would like to get rid of. The second column, valency of +2. Let's jump across to this column here, valency of +3. This column here can be positive or -4. This column here is our -3, meaning that it wants to gain 3 electrons. This column here is -2, meaning it wants to gain 2 electrons. -1 for this column. And this N column here is our inert gases, or our noble gases, which have 0 valency. They have a full outer shell with their electrons. Now, you'll come across this group here in the middle from time to time. Just consider all of these to have a valency of +2 unless otherwise stated, except for silver, which has a valency of +1. So all of these we consider to have +2, but it will tell us if it's a different valency. For example, you may sometimes see copper written as Cu with a 1 or Cu with a 3, and that tells us that this version of copper has a valency of 1, this version of copper has a valency of 3, meaning there's 1 extra electron here, 3 extra electrons in that version of copper. Okay, so something to just to keep in the back of your mind when you do see something that might say copper 2 or copper 3 or copper 1. Now, if we look at our periodic table, we know the valencies. So from that, we can build some ionic compounds that will be nice and balanced based on the rules of these valencies. So let's take a really simple and common one to start with, sodium chloride. So sodium is in the first column here, Na, and chloride is in this second to last column here, Cl. So we can write sodium, Na, and because it's in this positive column, I'm just going to put a little plus here. And chloride is over in this -1 column, so I'm going to put a little -1 next to it. So this tells me that sodium has an extra electron it wants to get rid of, and chloride, or chlorine rather, needs an electron to be balanced. So we have our swap and drop formula, where we take a swap like that, so that we bring this value here, which in this case is 1, down to here, and this value here, which is also 1, down to there. Now in this case, 1 and 1 are the same, so we don't need to do anything different with our sodium chloride to get our ionic compound. And that would be how we write it there. Let's take something a little bit different now. Let's look at calcium chloride. So calcium has a valency of 2+. So let's write calcium, Ca, with a 2+ this time. And chloride we know is Cl-. So we'll do that as a minus for there. Now we do our swap and drop. So this 2 comes down to here. This 1 goes down to there. So when we write the formula, it will tell us Ca1, chloride 2. So we have CaCl2 for calcium chloride. Now just remember, when you are naming these, we do the metal name first, sodium, and the non-metal name we put an IDE at the end, ide. So it becomes sodium chloride, calcium chloride. Good. Let's look at one more. This time let's look at lithium phosphate, or phosphide I should say, lithium phosphide. So Li, it's a 1 plus. Phosphorus is a 3 minus. So we can swap and drop again. And that will give us lithium 3, phosphide just the 1. So lithium phosphide would be written that way. So you may be asked to combine some of these ionic compounds together. The most common ones involve sodium, potassium, magnesium and calcium. Chloride, oxygen, sulfur, phosphorus are common ones as well, but you may be asked any from this periodic table here, including these ones from the middle. Just remember these ones in the middle, we consider them having a 2 plus unless it states otherwise, and silver is 1 plus, but you should be able to balance based on what we've done there now.